Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Friends, before going into the details of the war, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. Please support by subscribing and turning on the notification bell. We are a strong community. Ukrainian breakthrough is a window of opportunity. How can Ukraine's allies use this moment to secure success? Launched between the end of August and the beginning of September, Ukraine's still underway counteroffensive operation appeared surprising, rapid, and highly disruptive for the Russian occupation forces. While it is objectively recognized as the greatest success of Ukraine's defense forces and Russia's most disastrous defeat since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, there should be no euphoria. The good news is that by performing an exemplary military operation, Ukraine reached a milestone in mid-September and has taken the strategic initiative into its hands. However, experts in the military community suggest this is not even the beginning of the end. Several factors represent a significant threat to Ukraine's civil population, while the situation on the front line is challengeable. Soon after the details of the Russians' defeat became public, Russia launched a series of missile strikes targeting critical infrastructure objects to demonstrate what could be expected during the winter season. Putin also renewed his nuclear blackmailing, synchronized with the preparation of the orchestrated pseudo-referendums. Now, Ukraine's operational tactical level success should be secured on the political level. The numerous victories on the battlefield should lead to victory. For Ukraine, the breakthrough costs an extremely high price. This window of opportunity opened by the Ukrainian defense forces should now be used with the utmost efficiency to amplify the support and to help Ukrainians win the battle for survival. Winning this battle would prevent the spread of Pax Russica further into the European continent. There are at least 5 reasons why to invest in transatlantic security right now. To ensure a strategic shift, Ukraine's allies would need to adopt a threefold coordinated complex of actions: keep providing weapons and other military support, or finally start doing so, to Ukraine. B. Intensify economic sanctions on Russia. C. Perform reinforced political isolation of Russia. Ukraine's win back. The need to secure control over the liberated areas first, particularly because of its successful counteroffensive. Ukraine as never before requires heavy weapons and financial aid to cover its rising military needs. According to President Zelensky, as of September 23, Ukrainian forces managed to liberate around 9,000 square kilometers and nearly 400 towns and villages since the beginning of the offensive. Earlier in September, Hanna Maliar, Ukraine's Deputy Minister of Defense, said that approximately 150,000 civil inhabitants had been liberated as a result of the campaign. This also implies that currently, Ukrainians are dealing with a 2,500 kilometers long frontline, of which approximately 1,300 kilometers is an area of high-intensity combat action. The ongoing counteroffensive, which is now shaping the new contours of the control of terrain map, is also bringing a number of challenges, such as the need to ensure control over the extensive areas, a Special Operations Forces operator explained during a private conversation. To name just a few, Ukraine needs to secure the boots on the ground in deoccupied territories, arrange a complex of protective measures to prevent a recapture scenario, and conduct demining activities. Needless to say, all this requires accumulating additional human resources, military equipment, and modern weapons. Foreign military and financial aid packages would allow Ukraine to allocate resources as required within the areas of the highest demand in order to prevent a rollback and turn Ukraine's rapid tactical achievement into a long-term strategic assurance. This is reflected in the article Prospects for Running a Military Campaign in 2023. Ukraine's Perspective, written by Commander-in-Chief General Valery Zaluzhny and LTG Mikhailo Zabrodsky, a legendary military, currently MP. The authors soberly evaluate the perspectives of the warfare development, suggesting what factors are likely to play a key role in securing Ukraine's gains and what threats need to be given the highest priority. Among the latter, the generals name a possible advance of the enemy in the Zaporizhia direction, which would put the cities of Zaporizhia and Dnipro under the threat of being captured, and the revisited plans to gain control of Kyiv and the threat of renewed invasion from the territory of the Republic of Belarus. Nevertheless, the southern direction is raising the greatest concerns. If the enemy advanced in the South Buda direction, it would open the path toward Odessa and Mykolaiv but also northward in the Kryvyi Rih direction. Despite the runaway in the east, the enemy continues forming a new defense line in Donbass, strengthening its positions, stockpiling ammo depots, and accumulating equipment and personnel. In the south, the situation can change in favor of the Ukrainian forces soon. According to a senior military official at the Pentagon, in the Kherson region, the Russians essentially are in a defensive crouch. Nevertheless, it should be considered that the enemy is actively using the territory of the temporarily occupied Crimea to transfer the equipment, ammo, and provision in the Kherson direction. Now, when Ukrainian forces have demonstrated a confident advance in the east, the supply of heavy Western machinery is needed to enable its offensive in the southern direction. In the best-case scenario, that would allow the clearing up of the occupied areas of the Zaporizhia and Kherson regions, opening the path to Crimea. Primarily, the required military aid includes European and US-made anti-aircraft defense systems, self-propelled anti-aircraft guns, howitzers, tanks and armored vehicles, combat aircraft, MLRS, surface-to-air missile systems such as NASAMS, UAV systems, artillery, and tank shells. Third, it should be taken into account that since February 24, the impact of the Western sanctions imposed on Russia has already brought results. Dependent on foreign technologies and military innovations, Russia's military-industrial complex is now living at its worst times. As it experiences the lack of modern weapons and equipment, the Russian army struggles when confronting the latest developments of Western arms. However, if applied precisely to target Russia's budget-forming sectors, regular and tailored economic sanctions are expected to have a much more significant impact. Oil and gas sales form half of the revenues of the Russian budget. Within the first 6 months of the full-scale invasion, Russia earned €158 billion in revenue from fossil fuel exports, of which 54% are EU imported, worth approximately €85 billion, the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air reports. This puts the EU in the first position among fossil fuel importers. The study also suggests that fossil fuel exports have contributed approximately €43 billion to Russia's federal budget, helping fund war crimes in Ukraine. A long-expected EU member states' decision to accept the 8th sanctions package, which would set the price cap for Russian oil, is welcomed. However, the inability to reach an agreement for quite a while, with Cyprus and Hungary opposing the G7 proposal, indicates that there is still no shared understanding within the EU on the urgency and firmness of the sanctions against Russia and the need to reconsider the overall energy policy. Moreover, Russia will most likely find opportunities to minimize the losses, which would be a test for the Western states. It is up to the national governments whether they should provide their own insurance for vessels carrying Russian oil, which depends on their political will, the need for energy resources, and the evaluation of the risks of falling under secondary sanctions. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.